Assalamu alaikum students. Second paper 2 we're going to do for May June 2023. It's about algorithm programming and logic. Please do support our channel. All the revenue generated will be given to the Palestinian cause. Always remember the Palestinian people in your prayers. This is Cambridge IGCSE 0478 variant 22, which is paper 2 algorithms programming of the year May June 2023. 1 hour 45 minutes paper. Tick one box. Question number 1 says tick one box to identify the first stage of the program development lifecycle. Program development lifecycle. The example is PDC. The example is PDC. So first stage of the PDC is analysis. The first stage of the PDC is analysis. 4 logic gates. You have a logic gates question. 4 logic gates and 5 standard symbols of the logic gates. 4 logic gates are shown. Draw one link to each logic gate to its standard. Important line has been saying that not all standard symbols will be used. So you have to match them. All right. So which one do you think is the AND gate? You have to memorize the symbols and the truth table. So this is the AND gate. What is the example of an OR gate? I think this will be an OR gate. NAND gate will look somewhat like this. A NOT gate will look like this. Okay. The difference between NAND and AND is they both have a NOT gate and an AND gate and an AND gate. Not an AND combines a NAND gate. See, if you look at a NAND gate, it is very similar to the AND gate. This is the AND gate and this is the NAND gate. The only difference is it has a diode here. This circle is known as a diode. This is the normal AND gate, and if you have a diode in front of it, it will be known as an NAND gate. All right. The next question. Identify 3 different ways that the design of a solution to a problem can be presented. How can you do this? How can you say that 3 different ways can design a solution to a problem? First thing you could say is a structure diagram. A structure diagram alongside a flowchart and pseudocode. These 3 different ways can design a solution for a problem that can be presented. You can say structured diagram or you can say structured chart as well. Both the things are same. Pseudocode or flowchart. Now, a program needs to make sure the value input for a measurement meets the following rules. The value is a positive number. The value is always input. The value is a positive number. The value is always input and the value is less than 100. Okay. Describe the validation checks that a programmer would need to use. You need to describe the validation checks. Okay. So in order to describe the validation check, what will you do? You will say that first thing, since it should be less than 100, range check. Range check with acceptable values. All right. And it should be less than 100 and less than 100. Oh, sorry, thousands. Sorry, I didn't read it. The next point could be character check You also often call it as type check to ensure that a number is being entered, to check or to validate that a number is being entered. Because here we are talking about numbers now. We're talking about numbers now. So that's why we will check that it ensures a number is being entered. And then presence check. Presence check. It will validate what? What do you think the presence check will validate? Presence check will validate that the program will not continue after a value has been entered. Okay? Will ensure that program will not continue until a value has been entered. Until a value has been entered. Has been entered. A value has been entered. The program needs editing, which includes the program includes double data entry for the value input. State why this check needs to be included. Why do you need a double data entry? To verify the data. To verify the data. That's it. That's the simple answer, to verify the data for 1 mark. The input value needs to be stored in the variable. The name of the variable is measurement. The name of the variable is measurement. So you need to, input value needs to be stored in the variable. You have to write a pseudo-code to perform the double data entry until a successful input is made. How will you write a pseudo-code? First thing, you could use iteration. You could use 2 inputs and use the given variable. So first thing you can use the iteration is repeat. You will use a loop of repeat until loop. You will output a message which says, please enter measurement. Please enter measurement. Okay. And the second message will be input. It will input the data. You have to input the measurement. The name of the variable is measurement. I will highlight this in yellow color because this is the name of the variable. So after you are inputting the measurement, again a message will be output, and that output message will say, since we're talking about double data entry means you have to verify it. You have to verify it. So the second output will verify it, which will say, please re-enter measurement. Please re-enter measurement. Okay. Then it will input another message. It will input another message, and that message will say, input the measurement check. Input the measurement check. Okay. This code will run, and then you will write the last part, which is until. Repeat until. That's when the code will end. Until the measurement is equals to the measurement check. It's a really easy question. I will just give a summary about it. Basically, if you open a website, or if you're creating an account, you're signing up for an account, let's say Gmail. First thing, they ask you to please enter a password. Second thing, they always ask you, please re-enter the password you have entered. Okay, so similarly, that is basically called double entry check. That is called double entry check. The system is checking whether your data is being verified or no. You're verifying the data. It's checking that what value you have entered is matching the second value which you have entered. So you're entering the measurement, you input the measurement, and it asks you to check to please re-enter the measurement which you have entered before, and then you input the measurement check. So if your measurement value and your measurement check, they both are the same, that's when the code will end. That's when the code will end. All right. 3 marks for this. Circle 5 file handling operations. File handling operations. Open. You search the file, you write the file, you close the file, and you read a file. File handling is you close the file, you open the file, you search, you write, and you read. 5 marks. State 3 different features of high level language. A high level programming language that a programmer could use. Programming language that a programmer could use to make sure the program will be easier to understand by another programmer. Okay. Give an example of each feature. The first feature can be all identifiers have meaningful names. All identifiers have meaningful names. Have meaningful names. Okay. The example can be total. Total is a suitable name to store a running total. To store a running total. Okay. Second feature, you could say use comments to explain how the program works. Use comments to explain how the program works. All right. And the example could be, this is the example. All values are zeroed before the next calculation. Before the next calculation. Before the next calculation, all the values are 0. So before performing a calculation, just to initialize the start, the values will be 0. The values will be 0. The third feature, you could say, use procedures. Use procedures and functions for the tasks. Within a program. Within a program. For example, you could say to calculate an interest. Calculate interest, and then this could be the function deposit and the rate. All right, deposit and the rate. Just basic features for a high level language so that a programmer could make sure that the program will be easier to understand by another person. This is a blank page, so we could remove this page. Now, an algorithm has been written in the pseudocode to calculate a check digit for a 4-digit number. The algorithm then outputs the 5-digit number, including the check digit. The algorithm stops when -1 is input as the 4th digit. Give the line numbers for the statements showing totaling. Which statement do you think shows the totaling? I think this statement shows the totaling. Line number 7. Just have to give the line number, so you could say 07, which is a count controlled loop. Count controlled loop. I can see a count control loop for counter 1 to 4. This is a count control loop. And when the counter is being entered, so next counter. All right. So this is line 04 and 1 2. Post condition loop. Post condition loop is also available. This repeat, and repeat until. You could see the condition is given in the question. This is a repeat until. So 02 and 20. So 02 and 20. All right. Identify 3 errors in the pseudocode and suggest a correction for each error. 3 errors. There are 3 errors. The first error, when I was doing this, I already found out. This is the error. So I'm identifying the error. You could say 07, and you should say the correction should be total should be total plus number. This should be total plus number and then counter, because it's the counter variable which you are multiplying in this question. It's the counter variable which you are multiplying, so it should be given in square brackets, and then you put on the multiplying thing, and then you multiply it with the counter. Otherwise the code will not know which value to multiply. The second error, let's check. Yeah, the second error is here. If number counter is equals to 0, this is wrong. So line number 8. Line number 8, it should be if number square brackets counter is equals to -1. Okay, -1, or you could say less than 0. -1 or less than 0, because here if you say the algorithm stops when -1 is input as the 4th digit, so that's why. The third error will be, let's check. Yeah, third error is here. For counter 0 to 5. This should be for counter 1 to 5. Line 16. For counter 1 to 5. All right. This is done. The next part of the question says the algorithm does not check that each input is a single digit. Identify the place in the algorithm where this check should occur. Write the pseudocode for this check. Your pseudocode must make sure that the input is a single digit and it checks for -1. So the place in the algorithm could be, let's say, line 5 and line 6, because it is saying line 5 it is outputting a message and line 6 is inputting the number. So after line 5 or line 6, a new line 7, and this will shift down. So line 7 you can write it. So in the place in the algorithm, I could say line 7. Okay. Yeah. And the example of the algorithm, I have to also write in the pseudocode. So I could say repeat until loop. The repeat will output, it will output saying enter a digit. Okay. And after the digit is being entered, it will ask to input. After this message is being displayed, it will ask the input number. So input the number which is in the counter range. Okay. And then you close the loop. Repeat until. The name of the loop is repeat until loop. Okay. So since it's a post condition loop, this the condition will be given here. The condition will be given here. So the answer will be until number counter is equals to round round number counter 0 and number and then counter again is equals to, it's checking for -1, so it should be -1, or since it's checking for -1, it's checking for -1 this line. Input is a single digit and it checks for -1, or number counter is less than 0, and you can say number counter is less than 10. Sorry, number counter is greater than 0 and less than 10. That's the range we have. All right. The next question is a logic gate question. The next question is a logic gate question. You have an OR gate. If you can see it, you have an OR gate, you have an AND gate, you have a NOT gate, and you have a AND gate. 4 gates you have. Basically, sometimes they ask you to construct it, but obviously here they haven't asked you, so you have to solve it. You can make an expression A or B. OR gate, what does A or B give you? You need to understand the gates first. The truth table of each gate is really important. So if you have an OR gate, A or B will give you what? Let's consider making this as D. D, E, and F. All right. Why F? I'll tell you. This is the final gate. We all know that this is the final gate. Okay. So what will happen is A or B. So A or B, OR gate is here. So 0, 0 in OR gate will become what? 0, 0 in OR gate will become 0. Done. Leave the AND because it's the final gate. Not B and C. This is in front of D, I can write OR gate. For E, I can say not and F is the final gate, which is the AND gate. All right. So now for not B and C, not B and C, what could the answer be? First, talk about B and C. B and C in AND gate, 0, 0 in AND gate will give you what? 0, 0 in AND gate will give you what? It will give you 0. 0 and 0 in AND gate. This is the AND gate. So 0 and 0, inputting the value of B and C, 0 will give you 0. But since you have a NOT gate here, that 0 will turn to, that 0 will become 1 because NOT gate always reverses it. If your answer is 0, it will become 1. So that NOT gate will become 1. Now, these both the values are being entered in an AND gate. So 0, 1 in an AND gate will give you what? 0, 1 in an AND gate will give you what? It will give you 0. So your final answer should be 0. 0, 1 in AND gate will give you 0. Okay, let's try doing it for the second one. You have 0, 0 again. This will also be 0 because it's the same thing. A, 0, A or. So 0, 0. Remember, learning the truth table is really important, students. Without the truth table, you cannot do the questions. Okay, now, not B and C. B and C again. What is the 0 and 1? 0 and 1 in an AND gate will give you 0. This answer will be 0. And since we have a NOT gate, this 0 will inverse to 1. Okay. 0 and 1 in an AND gate will give you 0 and 1 in AND gate will give you 0. Okay. Then if you inverse it to a NOT gate, it will become 1. Okay, it will become 1. So since it will become 1, again here also there will be a 1. So the same thing, 0, 1 will become 0 again because of the AND gate. Final gate is AND gate 0 and 0. Similarly, for all the other questions, we will be doing it. I will just give us the answer. You need to solve it 0, 0, 0 and 1, 0, 0. These are the answers. Okay, so you need to solve it for the others. The next part of the question is the flowchart, which is representing an algorithm. So you have to complete the trace table by using the data given in the array from 1 to 5. So this is the array. And I've constructed the trace table by looking at this. So the first one, you could say, how do I do this? I will explain. So for your first, F is 0 and C is 1. So you're starting here as F is 0, C is 1. The first line has already been done for you, which has this data. So if it's no, it will go this side. If it's yes, it will come this side. So since it's no, T stores the value of X counter. The value of X counter was 10. So I stored 10 here. Okay. Then you'll move forward with the next 1, 2, 3, and this will increment 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4. And then you will construct this table. All right. This will go on until is C is equals to 5. If it's yes, it will go. If I think yes, it will stop till here. Okay. Now, why the algorithm represented, describe what the algorithm represented by the flowchart is doing. What is it doing? It is doing bubble sort in array, bubble sort data in array, and it is putting them in ascending order. In ascending order. The next part of the question says a music streaming service has a new database named Songs. The name of the database is songs. To store the details of songs available for streaming, the table contains the fields song number, title, author, singer, minutes, and recorded. Title stores the title of the song, author stores the name of the songwriter, singer, the name of the singer, and all these things you can read. Identify the field that will be the most appropriate for the primary key for this table. For this table, which field do you think will be the more appropriate for the primary key? I think song number. Song number would be the appropriate field for primary key since the number is difference. A, G, 1 to 3 is an example. So the number for song will be different. Complete the table to identify the most appropriate data type for the fields in songs. So what do you think will be the most appropriate data type for the field song number? It can be text, or you could say alphanumeric. For title also it could be text or alphanumeric. They're both the same. Recorded date, the date. Recorded says the date the song was recorded. So that will be date and time. Okay. Minutes. The length of the song was in minutes, for example, 3.7. That is a decimal number, so it could be real. Could be real data type. All right. Explain the purpose of the SQL. SQL is structured query language statements. Some minutes from songs where genre equals rock, count the title from where, from songs where the genre is rock. What is the purpose? The main purpose is, you could say, to find the total number, to find the total number of minutes of music. Okay. To find the total number of songs. All right. And it is available for the gen rock. All right. To find available for gen rock and to count the title, find the number of minutes of the music. Sum means find the number of musics to find the total number of songs. All right. Let's move forward to the next question. The variables P and Q are used to store data in a program. P stores a string, Q stores a character. Write pseudocode to declare the variable P and Q the word in P and store W in Q. So how are you going to do this? Declare P, declare P into string, and P make it the word. The word. Declare Q as char and Q become W. All right, Q will become W. You have to write a pseudocode algorithm. You have to write a pseudocode algorithm which says three things. Convert the P to the uppercase, find the position of the Q in the string, store the position of Q in the variable position. So in order to start with the pseudo case, first thing you need to see is convert P to uppercase. So you could say P U case P. All right. And then you could say counter will be 1. The position, which is P, will be initialized as 0. And then you could use the repeat until loop. So if you are using the repeat until loop, repeat if the substring if the substring t counter 1 is equals to q, then position position will become counter. Okay, and then you will end if, and then you will end if. After that, you could say counter is equals to counter plus 1. Counter is equals to counter plus 1. The back arrow means is equals to in the pseudocode language. Okay, and then you will end the code. You will end the code here by writing the last statement, which is position until position equal to 0 or counter is equals to length is equals to length of the position. Fine. Give the value of the position after the algorithm has been executed with the data in question number 11a. Question 11a, what is the position of the data? When the data in question 11a, give the position after the algorithm. So position of the algorithm and data 1, 2, 3. The position of data will be 5. It will be 5. All right.